Hello and welcome to the Media News this hour. Let's begin the news at the presidential election court sitting in the nation's capital, where President Bola Tinubu earlier today opened his defense in the petition filed by the Labour Party. His counsel also tendered 18 certified true copies of documents in his defense. Part of the documents tendered by the president through his counsel proves that Peter Obi has a case of double nomination. According to the counsel, Mr. Obi purportedly resigned his membership from the People's Democratic Party on the 26th of May to join the Labour Party on the 27th of May 2022. The Labour Party adds that then conducted its presidential primary election on the 30th of May 2022, which produced him as candidate. According to the President's Counsel, by virtue of Section 77, subsection 3 of the Electoral Act, the Labour Party was mandated to have submitted its comprehensive register of members to INEC 30 days before its presidential primary, which implies that the register of members must have been submitted to INEC on or before 30th of April. He also noted that as at the 30th of April 2022, Mr. Obi was still a member of the PDP and his name was not in the register of members submitted by the Labour Party to INEC. This, he adds, implies Peter Obi was still a member of the PDP when he contested the presidential election on the platform of the Labour Party. In the meantime, Senate Majority Leader Bamidele Opeyemi has testified as a witness for President Bola Tinubu. Let's take you back to our earlier story of the President Bola Tinubu, who has also earlier today opened his defense in the petition filed by the Labour Party. We've got our correspondent, Celestina Area, who is joining me live from Abuja. Celestina, bring us up to speed with the latest from the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal, especially on the case where the APC, Bola Tinubu, said that Peter Obi of the Labour Party has a case of double nomination.
Yes, the president has opened his defense. He opened his defense yesterday in the petition filed by the PDP. And now he has called his first witness in the petition filed by the Labour Party. Yesterday, the president, through his counsel, tendered 14 documents in his defense and also to ensure that his case is being heard and all the allegations made by the parties are refuted. And also today, the president, through his counsel, tendered 18 documents and has called his first witness, which is the Senate Majority Leader, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, who is currently giving his evidence in chief. The other respondents, being the APC and INEC, will have their time to cross-examine him, and as well there is the Labour Party. But so far, the document tendered today by the president contain proof that the presidential candidates of the Labour Party fall foul to the provisions of the Electoral Act and has a case of double nomination. The president, with the evidence, is saying that when Peter Obi contested under the Labour Party, he was still a member of the PDP. Given by the dates in the evidences, Peter Obi left the PDP on 26th of May and went to the Labour Party on the 27th of May. And Labour Party had its presidential primaries on 30th of May, which is just 3 days after Peter Obi joined. But if we look at Section 77 of Section 3 of the Electoral Act, which says that every political party needs to submit the list of comprehensive registered members 30 days to their primaries. So when the party had submitted its list to INEC, Peter Obi's name was not on that list. But that was one of the cases the president has raised. But we could remember that the APM had taken this particular issue to the Federal High Court, stating that Peter Obi was not qualified to contest the election. But the Federal High Court struck out that suit. It was brought to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal struck it out, but now it's been challenged at the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has not given a date for the judgment. But so for that particular case, it's very instrumental. If the Supreme Court should rule on one way or the other by saying that Peter Obi was not a member of the Labour Party when he contested, I think that nullifies whatever issue he has brought before the court. Although in their defense, they had said that the waiver was issued by the political party for the new members to join just 3 days prior to the presidential election, and that waiver was endorsed by INEC. So the question now beholds is that does INEC have the right to endorse that waiver as against the provisions of the Electoral Act? under Section 77, Section 3, for contrary to the provisions of the Constitution that grants freedom of association.
Exactly where they want to roll on this matter. But then we know that, so far so good, there have been witnesses called and there's some witnesses who are not available. Talk to us about the proceedings today. How has it been? Has it been in order as expected by what the court has scheduled?
Yes, exactly. The proceedings are going according to plan. Yesterday, INEC closed its case. They called one witness in the petition by the Labour Party, as well as that by the PDP, who was their witness was an ICT specialist who gave account of the proceedings of how INEC came about the ASW server that they use in transmitting results. But he made some salient points while giving his evidence that INEC did not transmit results electronically. It was done manually. But that was what INEC presented. They had proposed to have called 3 witnesses, but they ended up calling 1 witness. So we don't know how many witnesses the APC or the president will be calling, but they just said they have witnesses before, and they have started doing that. And part of their document, that tender, also contains certified true copies of the judgment of the Supreme Court that lay to rest every issue that has to do with double nomination, alleged double nomination against the vice president, that the Supreme Court decided on, that they got a certified true copy of that judgment. It is before the court. There were allegations that the president never attended the Chicago State University. There is a correspondence from the university proving that the president went to that university, and the school had actually come out to say that he went to the university and graduated with honors. And also there were allegations that he had double citizenship or dual citizenship, that he holds a Guinean passport. But the petitioners in no time had ever gone to the Guinean embassy to prove the allegation that if maybe he had denied or renounced that his citizenship. And also, there were a lot of allegations made by the petitioners, which the president has come to date with various evidences to refute those allegations. There were also allegations of forfeiture, criminal forfeiture, allegation of drugs. The U.S. has come out to say, through the U.S. consulate in Nigeria, that the president is not guilty of any allegation, was never charged, was never arraigned before any court. We could recall in 2003, the IGP at that time sent a message to the U.S. to ask questions if President Bola Tinubu had any case before the U.S. And the U.S. responded to the IGP in 2003 that the president had no criminal record with them. And these copies are certified true copies from the United States. So all of these things, and from 2011 to 2020, when the president has been visiting the United States of America, unhindered, he has been having free, he has been going and coming back, he has had no issue of being arrested or detained whatsoever. The certified true copies of the visas obtained, given to him, has been submitted by the president through his counsel before the court. And also the Nigerian Immigration Service has also brought out their own, they also secured a report from the Nigerian Immigration Service that yes, these visas were given to the president. So the president came here prepared today to refute and counter every allegation made or placed by the petitioners, be the Labour Party or the PDP. So 2 p.m. today, the Labour Party, that's the PDP will commence, because now that the Labour Party is currently ongoing.
Absolutely. Judiciary correspondent Celestina Ira, thank you so much for those insightful details from what has transpired so far in the presidential election courts in Abuja. Thank you. Keep close tabs on these for us.